This evening we decided to have as a topic how not to let the others to define ourselves or to define who we are. Of course, it is a major topic in the sense that we can have regularly the feeling that the way we are, the way we live, the way we express ourselves is heavily influenced by the others, either by, let's say, direct requests from the others, either it seems implied by how they are referring to us, or how they are talking to us, or how they react to how we behave or how we live. So this brings a certain dissatisfaction, and this brings a certain frustration, because we can have at times the feeling that we are not ourselves, or that we are not living our life as we would like to live it, or as we would like to express ourselves. It is a situation very common in the young age, when we are under the influence of the parents, and when the parents do not let enough space eventually for the child, the teenager, or the young adult to express what he or she would like to do, which kind of study, which kind of job, which kind of attitude, eventually which kind of friends, and so on. So there is a situation which is quite common. But probably we can say that this is not a situation which should last. So from the moment we are becoming independent, or so-called independent, less under the influence eventually of the parents, we should be able to stand for what we like, for how we would like to live our life, which is often not the case for several other reasons, such as the expectation of the parents still, the expectations of the friends, the expectations of the surrounding. Once we start a job, or once we engage into a category of work, the others might expect us to behave in a certain way, to act in a certain way. And again, we find ourselves in the difficulty of being ourselves, or feeling free to express ourselves the way we would like. And sometimes it goes quite far, and sometimes it goes quite disturbing. Because we might be a very gentle person or kind, but we are not in an environment which recognizes kindness or generosity, and we are a little bit limited or blocked even to express our true feelings, or our true self, or the way we would like to express ourselves. If we work in some field of activity, kindness can be seen as inappropriate, or as a weakness. And so we will learn eventually to hide this sensitivity, or this kindness, in order to fit into the demand of the others, or in the demand of the job category in which we have engaged. So this is disturbing for us, and this has an impact also on the karma that we are accumulating. Of course, if in a situation we could have been kind and we could have expressed something positive towards the others, but we felt that we cannot, and instead we are a little bit rude or we are a little bit tough, which will hurt the other or which will be unpleasant for the others, we are not accumulating a positive karma, we are accumulating a negative one. So we can see that this limitation from the outside is having an impact even on not only on how we express ourselves, not only on how we live, but also on the karmic causes that we are accumulating, which we will have to experience in the future. So this is really a matter that we need to meditate upon and understand in order to change a certain amount of things in our daily life. First of all, we should get rid of the idea that the others have to define our life, or that the others should influence the way we are acting, behaving, reacting in our life. Surely in some case or in some situation, we need to adjust our behavior to a situation. So we might need to have a more composed face or a more serious face if we are going on the stage, if we are going on the TV, if we are going here and there, according to a situation, of course. But in that case, this should remain our decision, and that decision is based on how we think we can benefit the other the most, not based on what the others are expecting of me. These others are expecting from me is a mistake and is a common trick or common influence, often based on our own fears. Yes, I mean, if we give into the demand of the others or the implicit demand of the others, it is based on some fears and on some guilt. As you are aware of, guilt is a component of our societies. It is a tool somehow used to manipulate the mass people and bring them to do or to behave in a specific way or in a specific direction. Now, what we need to do here is somehow to get rid of this influence so that we can really do what we think is the best to do. We are engaged into a spiritual journey, on a spiritual path, and we have set a certain amount of aims. These are our aims. This is what we wish to achieve. And on the Mahayana path, we are trying to achieve a certain amount of goals for the sake of the others, not just for our own benefit, but for the benefits of as many beings as possible. Of course, as we know, the benefit of the others within our spiritual path framework depends on how we will develop our own wisdom. The wisest I become, the wisest my actions are, and the better I can help the others. I want to help as many beings as possible means quite directly, I need to improve myself so that I can help as many beings as possible. This is important to understand, and this is important to integrate into this topic, because the way I will behave, the way I will lead my life, should not be influenced by the others, but should be based on the wisdom I develop, the wisdom I generate, in order to be able to help as many beings as possible. So the point is not to become independent from the others in order to act crazily or foolishly, or has what kind of thought will cross our mind, I will try to do it. It is more, I meditate, I define the goal that I would like to achieve in this life, or the goal that I would like to achieve in this event, in this moment, or in this seminar, or in this year of study, or whatever. I define my goal and I go for it, trying not to be influenced by the others. So, to avoid being influenced by the others, we need to get rid of the various guilts and the various fears that we are experiencing, which again brings us to the meditation, because it is through meditation that we can see more clearly our mind, how our mind usually works, and within our meditation, we are also setting our goals more firmly. We are defining the motivation that should sustain our thoughts and our actions. Meditation remains the basis for our whole life, our entire life, for all aspects of our life, for our spiritual development without any doubt, but also the way we are acting and behaving in family or in a professional environment is depending on how we meditate. Do we have a good meditation? Do we have, through the practice of meditation, the capability to stabilize our mind or not? To have a stable mind is the key for the most appropriate behavior within an event, within a situation, in front of different situations. If the mind is not stable, it will jump from one emotion to another without sometimes that we even notice it, since away from the meditation, we are not really aware of our own minds. Sometimes you look at somebody who behave in a little bit hectic way, and you suggest that anger might be present, and the person might deny it completely, though all the signs of anger were there. And the person might be quite honest in the sense that he was not aware, or she was not aware of being angry, because most people are not aware of what is happening into their mind. So meditation is, in this case, really the key for a better understanding of our own mind processes. And once you can see these processes, you can apply the right methods. You can apply the right antidote. So if the mind is poisoned by anger or jealousy or whatever type of attachment, then you can apply the right way of thinking, which will counteract this kind of emotions and this kind of mental factors. Without the capability to meditate and pacify the mind, I don't think there can be any higher achievements, either worldly speaking or spiritually speaking. This all brings us also to think about the law of causality. The law of causality, the karma, if you prefer, is what brings in front of our senses the reality as we perceive it. I perceive this reality the way I perceive it because I have created the cause for that. I have created the cause to be in this or in that situation, in front of this or that person. And if I hear these kind of things, or if I see these kind of things, it means I have created the cause for it, not the others. So somebody misbehave, somebody insult you, you are perceiving what you have accumulated the cause for. If you would not have accumulated these causes, you would not see this. You would not experience that situation. This understanding is very important to get in regards to how we react. How should I react in front of this or that situation? If I understand that I have my share of responsibility in what I experience, I will most probably react better, with a little bit more distance than if I think it is the fault of the others, the fault of the situation. We need again, in that situation, to set the guilt out. Most of the situations we are experiencing are not the result of this life, are not the result of our ego as we know it today. It has been created in the past and sometime in the far past, which can be a life or several lives ago. Of course, it was my consciousness, since it is the same consciousness which is passing from a life to another. But the ego structure was different. So in one way, what I'm experiencing now is not my fault. It is not in terms of fault that we need to think, and thus we should not feel guilty to be in this or that situation. We are responsible, but we are not guilty, in the sense that it has been created in the far past and we are experiencing it now. So, understanding this without guilt brings us to the understanding that I should not react too emotionally, and if possible, I should not act emotionally at all in front of what I experience. I need to analyze the situation with a calm mind, taking the distance, the necessary distance from what I experience, before to react. So my reaction should be thoughtful, adapted to the situation, trying to find a way to pacify the situation, resolve the problems wisely, as wise as I can, given my wisdom or my limited wisdom or my absence of wisdom, but without creating further negativity. Because so work the law of causality. I create causes which gives results. In front of the result of past accumulated causes, my new reaction will create new causes, which I will have to experience in the future. So I am today in front of that person who treat me in this or that way. This is the result of past accumulated causes. The way I will react in front of that situation right now is creating new causes. Past accumulated causes, I might not be able to do much. Of course, I can purify them before they appear. I can engage into purification methods like prostration to the 35 Buddhas, like Vajrasattva mantras recitation. All these I can do in order to prevent past accumulated causes to give a result. Once they have given a result, I might not be able to change much of it. But what I can change, what I am the master of, is how I react in front of them. This immediately, on the spot, I can decide how to manage it. I can. It doesn't mean that I do it usually because I'm not aware of it. So impulsively, in front of an unpleasant situation, I might react in an unpleasant way, or in a careless way, or in an aggressive way even. This is because we do not have realized the true nature of the phenomena. We do not spontaneously understand that what we are perceiving is an illusion. An illusion in the sense that it has been created by the causes I have accumulated in the past. What I see, what I perceive, appears within my own mind. It appears nowhere else. I have created some causes. I see them manifesting. This reality in front of me is the result of what I have accumulated. If we have a clear understanding of it, and if we can remind ourselves of this understanding on a daily basis, then we should keep a mind much more calm, much more aware, much more thoughtful as regarding how we will react to it. And if I am aware of this situation, if I understand it well, nobody else has the power to tell me what to do, to tell me how to behave, to tell me how I should lead my life or not. Because they are not creating causes for me. I am the only one who can create the causes for my own life. They are the only one who are creating the causes for their own life. If I accumulate positive karma, I cannot give it to the others. If I create negative karma, it will not influence the others. The causes we have accumulated is influencing our own life, not the life of the others. We cannot share karma. Yes, that there is no app so far which allows us to share whatever cause we have accumulated. There is no point that we can send to anyone through WhatsApp or Viber or whatever. We are responsible for what we are doing and experiencing. So, what would be the benefit of letting ourselves to be influenced by the others? Do they understand my life? Do they understand my motivation? Do they understand how I see my path, my family, my life in general? No, they don't. Except if you are in front of a Buddha or a Bodhisattva who can read at the same time your mind and all the karmic accumulation. But except this situation, this very specific situation, most of the people cannot see within yourself. You see within yourself, more or less. And this more or less depends also on your spiritual level. And the spiritual level depends on how you practice. And the bottom line, how you meditate. The better you meditate, the more clearly you see your own life. So, what we hear from the others, what we perceive of what they are telling us, is the result of what we have accumulated in the past. We should not be influenced by it. It's a little bit like watching a movie. Should you let the main character in the screen influence the way you need to think? You understand that what you perceive on the screen is illusory, is passing in front of your eyes, but should not affect yourself. When you have a dream and you wake up from this dream, you know also that you should not be influenced by what somebody has told you within the dream, because it was a dream. The difficulty now in the daily life, in this reality, is to recognize that whatever we perceive in this reality is of the same nature as a dream. It is the same nature as your own mind. And you should not let your mind to be influenced by anything. Happens what you have created the cause. Will not happen what you have not accumulated the cause for. So, in front of a situation, change what you can change in the way you think it will be the most beneficial. And if you cannot change it, don't be frustrated, upset, angry, because it won't change the present situation, but it will create some negative cause that you will need to experience in the future. Eventually, as long as you remain heavily disturbed in front of a situation, as long as that situation or similar situation will appear in your life again and again. If our aim is, one of our aim is to have a more peaceful environment or more peaceful life, let's create the cause for that. And the cause for that are coming from your mind, are coming from your motivation, are coming from your state of thinking. The more peaceful, the wiser, the better the cause you will accumulate. The more angry, the more disturbed, the worse the situation will unfold in front of you. Matter of choice. What do we aim in life? What is our goal? What do we hope to achieve? These are questions we should ask ourselves again and again, because based on our goal, we need to establish the surrounding. We need to establish the basis. I want to achieve enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. This is what we repeat several times per day. This is what we need to keep as the foundation of our daily life. Well, if I want to achieve enlightenment, I surely need to change a certain amount of things. And these changes start by pacifying the mind. If we come back to the main topic, which is not to let the others to define who we are, this is a direct consequence of a correct understanding of the law of causality. If I understand how things appear in front of me, basically, nothing has the power to change how I think. Henceforth, nothing has the power to change who I am. Who I am is defined by my motivation, is defined by my way of thinking, and I'm the master of this. At least I should be the master of this. And if I am not, because I am not yet the master of my own mind, then I need to intensify my practice of meditation. Through the practice of meditation, I will find peace. I will find the way to pacify my mind. Meditation is, again, not something which is only performed sitting on a cushion cross-legged. You can meditate whenever. Of course, there are some moments the actions is a little bit too much to meditate seriously. Yet, as often we can meditate throughout our daily life, the better, because we will acquire this habit of meditating. It is good to have a moment of meditation every day, peacefully, installed on your cushion, eyes closed, with a perfect surrounding. You can have 20 minutes. You can have 30 minutes, according to the time you have, according to your schedule. This is good ground, but this is the very minimum. What needs to follow in the rest of the day are many smaller meditations. So even if you don't have later on during the day the time to meditate for 20 minutes more, try to have 1 minute here, 2 minutes there, 4 minutes there, during which you will really observe your mind. You will pacify your mind. You will bring back your mind to the present moment. Ironically, the present moment is the most important and is the one in which we dwell the less. We are most of the time leaning on the past, remembering, regretting, getting angry about events of the past, or projecting to the future, projecting with excitement, or projecting with fear, or even projecting with anger towards situation which did not appear yet and eventually will never appear. You don't create the karma in the past. Past is past. You don't create something with something which is past, a situation already gone. You don't create karmic causes with the future because it is not there yet, because it didn't happen. You create karmic causes in the present. Though we can enter into philosophical debate about what is the present, is there any present, of course, because somehow moment after moment it is going so fast that we cannot really catch a present moment. When you think about the present moment, that present moment you think or you thought was the present is already past. But leaving this aside, we need to pay attention to what is happening now. What is happening now outside is the result of your past causes. What is happening now inside is the basis for what will unfold in the future. So we need to pay attention now. And there are many moments throughout the day which we could use for such meditation. You just need to walk from your office to the car. You have a few minutes. You can meditate. You are waiting for the bus. You are waiting for your train. You are driving. You can meditate. Don't meditate on emptiness while driving, but you can meditate on here and now while driving without any problem. You will even benefit from it because you will be more aware and more focused on what is happening in front of you, around you. Might avoid some accidents if everybody would be more aware. So as many times as possible throughout the day, try to catch the little moments that you have to recenter here and now. Even on the toilet, you have few minutes, you're not in the office, you're not surrounded by disturbances. Focus, take this opportunity. 1 minute, 2 minutes, it is okay. Transform in this way, progressively, the way you are dealing with your own mind. Meaning, become more aware of it, more aware of that mind, whereas most of the time we are not. And somehow it is that mind which controls me. All the past accumulated causes bringing myriads of influences. A lot of thoughts that we have are the result of past accumulated causes. A lot of past tendencies are appearing within our minds and makes us to like or dislike or feel attracted or disgusted by this and that. If you meditate on your mind, if you meditate on your motivation, if you recollect your thoughts, somehow you recover the possibility to place your mind where you want it to be. And you don't let all the other circumstances and all the other influences to bring you in one direction or another. Finally, when we talk about meditation and when we talk about controlling the mind, developing a certain control over your way of thinking, some people will have the reaction of, I don't want to control my mind. What is this word controlling? It is like being handcuffed by our own mind somehow. People want to be free, usually. Except that, are we free, generally speaking? Can we say that we are free? Can we say that we are able to place our mind where we want it to be? Or is it the opposite, that our thoughts are manipulating our consciousness and raising some emotions and raising some anger and disturbing the way we perceive things? So we are not free. We are under the influence of our past accumulated causes and all the karmic imprints that we have. Whereas when you develop a certain control over your mind, you are regaining that freedom. So controlling your mind is being free to place your mind wherever you decide it to be, not the opposite. So we are not limiting our minds by applying a certain control over our thoughts. Quite the opposite. We are becoming more able to remain focused on the present moment. And when we are focused on the present moment, we are more aware of the whole situation. Whereas you have a problem to solve or a situation to solve, or you are dealing with somebody and you try to find the right approach to help that person, if your mind is concentrated, peaceful, and having the right motivation, you will find the answer. You will find the solution much more easily than if your mind is completely disturbed and running in one way or in another because of the fear, because of the guilt, because of the past, or because of the projections and expectations to the future. Understanding all that makes us more free, makes us more firm, makes us more stable. And if you are more stable, the others cannot really disturb you. They can be jumping all around you. They can be screaming. They can be praising you or insulting you. None of this will disturb the mind, will disturb your mind. Their influence will vanish, and you will be able to proceed as you think it is the best for your development and consequently for the way you want to help the others. Yes, since this should be somehow our main motivation. What to say more about this topic? A lot, surely, but everything will turn around this matter, the matter of meditating properly, often, regularly, and meditating also regularly on the law of causality. What makes my reality? What makes what I am perceiving? Why do I perceive things in this or that way? If we understand the illusory nature of what we are perceiving, then what we are perceiving will not have any influence on our own minds, which is the goal. Yes, the goal is to be more peaceful inside. Of course, according to situations, we need to act more fast, more powerfully. Sometimes we need to raise the voice, or we need to show a little bit of toughness, or a little bit more tenderness as well. And we should not be looking like indifferent because inside we are meditating. We, out of this meditation, decide how it is the best to react, act and react to any situation outside. But this is your decision in this case. Even if you have a tough face and you raise the voice and you look like angry, it should have a meaning, a goal, and your mind inside should not be disturbed. You can be in peace inside. You can be full of compassion, kindness inside. But you see that it is necessary to be a little bit more tough, to solve a situation, to stop some people to act in a way which is not good for themselves or for the others. So you choose to react in this way. You need to defend somebody. Of course, you might need to take a little bit more forceful aspect, but inside, don't let your mind to be fooled by the appearance. Like when you watch a movie. If you are looking at a movie and you get angry because of the movie, what is the point? You don't relax your mind. I mean, the main point or the main benefit of sitting on a couch and watching a movie or going to the cinema is to relax the mind, to have a little time that you can relax in order to be more efficient afterwards. If while you are going to the cinema you get angry or lustful or jealous, in any way disturbed, what is the point of watching any movie? Yes, the same applies to our daily life. If you go out, you go to the market, or you go to your job, the point is not to have a disturbed mind. The point is to act and help the others or help a situation in the best way possible. Yes. So, whatever you perceive, always pass it through the filter of the correct understanding, the understanding of the true nature of what you perceived. You look around you, you read something on your computer, you read something on your phone, you hear something from somebody. This is the result of past accumulated causes. This is something that you perceive now. Your mind does not need to be disturbed. And actually, the less disturbed it will be, the better you will handle any kind of information. It's a habit. You want to do yoga, you want to do very good in some asanas and some specific movement which require a great suppleness of your body. You need to practice every day. Every single day you need to do a little bit of practice. If you don't practice for 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, then you become stiffer. Then you will have to start again. The mind works in the same way. Meditate every single day, several times a day, so that your mind gets used to this way of thinking, this way of pacifying your mind. The more you will do it, the more you will get used to doing it, the more it will become automatic to do it, and the less your mind will be disturbed. And the less your mind is disturbed, the less the others can have any influence on yourself, on your mind, on your behavior, on your way of thinking. So the better you regain a certain control over your mind, I would say also a certain self-esteem, which comes from the practice, which comes from the meditation, which comes from the various sadhanas that we are making, during which we see ourselves as a Buddha. Even if you are not yet a Buddha, but you are creating the image of yourself as a Buddha. And this is very good for the self-esteem. Doing that, you strengthen not your ego, but you pacify your mind. You strengthen your motivation to reach a goal for the sake of all sentient beings without to be disturbed by anything. So you remove from any external phenomena the power to influence how you should be, who you should be, how you should act and react. This is your choice. This is, with a peaceful mind, what you need to do in your daily life, within every single situation of your life, in personal environment, professional environment, spiritual environment, whatever. Because whatever circumstances you are in, you are with your own mind. Either you are here or you are far away, you are with your own mind. To achieve all these meditation skills and results, you don't need to make a specific journey to a cave in the Himalayas. It's not the place that will define your state of mind. It's your decision. You can make a retreat wherever you are. Of course, if you're in the middle of a city, you might choose to be in the countryside or in the mountain in order to be more peaceful, to look at the greenery, to hear the birds, might be more influencing positively than to hear the trucks, the horns, the screaming of the people. But beside this, which can be done a few kilometers from where you live, nothing else is necessary. You have within yourself already all what you need to enter into the practice of meditation. I think that's it. This is really what we should understand. This is really what we need to work on again and again, not to lose the track with what we are aiming at. Yes? You are the master of your own life. Sometimes it seems there are many external phenomena having power over your life. Nothing has a power over your mind. You might not be able to change all the situation of your current surrounding right now, of course. But if you set correctly your goal, you will be able to assemble the different means to achieve it. And you will be able to do that with a peaceful mind, not with a disturbed one, with a correct motivation, not with a selfish one. Apply at the most of your capability all what we discussed about, as any teaching is without any value if you do not apply it, if you do not do something out of it. And keep in mind that nothing external has the power to disturb your mind. Nothing. We should be more concerned about how we think than about what we observe outside, what we observe, what we hear, what we feel, and so on. So everything which comes from outside, what we perceive as outside, which is not so from outside because it comes from our own mind, but conventionally outside, has no power to disturb you, has no power to influence you if you don't want to. So as often as possible, really reflect about the causality, reflect about bodhicitta, which is your main motivation, so that nobody can appear as able to generate fear or anger within you. We are the masters of our own life, nobody else. If there are unpleasant situations, and there are often unpleasant situations or suffering because we are in the samsara, do not give them the power to disturb your mind. Observe every situation peacefully without letting anything to disturb you. Yes. Peaceful mind as often as possible. All right. Okay. Then I wish you a good evening.